Yo, Brandon, what you say in your book? The outcast will outlast. Talk to him, B. Yo, what's up, you guys? Tune in tonight. This is episode 2 with Talk with B. The outcast will outlast. Listen, we're talking about a very sentimental subject tonight, but I'm going to break it down the best way I know how. And I know y'all hear this song in the background talking about love and what love really means. And so the topic for tonight is what is love? What is love? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. You know, I'm new to this YouTube thing, but I feel like, somebody may need to hear this around the world, what love really means. And so today we live in this society today where we think love is material things, or if they buy me something, that's love, or if they sex me real good, that's love, or I have to buy my way or have sex on my way to the top, or doing emotional roller coasters in our life. We think that's love, but that ain't love. That ain't love. That ain't love. Love is what love does. And I think that as a society and people that we have lost sight in what love means. And so I'm not going to be on before you long, but what is love? Brandon, what is love? Love is an intense feeling of deep affection, a great interest and pleasure of something. That means when somebody love you, it's real. They just don't say it. They do it. You know what I'm saying? That's just like if my friends say that they love me but never show me. That's just word of mouth. But if my lover or my best friend says that I love you, that means they're showing deep affection with great interest in that they love me. Like, I really love you. I'm just calling. Let's go grab the bite to eat. You always checking on me. You always showing love to me. And so now it's my time to display that love towards you. Verse is, well, he bought me this and or she bought me that. And so we had a great night of pleasure. And so we think that is love. Oh, I love you, baby, during the middle of deep affection. But really, it was just lust, right? So what is love? Love is an intense feeling. That means you have to really, when you love somebody, you show them. They said this thing, there's this myth that says actions that speak louder than words, right? Well, I believe in that myth because actions does speak louder than words, especially when you're dealing with somebody that has never experienced true love from a person, a thing, or place. And so when a person has always been rejected, they don't know what love is. And so we have to very, very be careful when we begin to hook up with different people, you know what I'm saying? Unhealed people, or people that always used to buying their love, or always selling their love, or always thinking they have to lay down to get love. But no, that's not love. Love is an intense feeling of deep affection. That means I love you. But wait a minute, can I take it on the spiritual side? God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son for us to fill us with hope for the future. And so God's kind of love is that I don't want nothing from you, but I want you. As when we're dealing with a person, they want things from us. They want our bodies. They want our times. And let me tell you something. When a person really doesn't love you, they're going to use you up till there's nothing left of you. And then here you go sitting back like, I thought you loved me. Now you going crazy. Now you busting windows out their car. Now you showing up at their job is because that was not love, baby. That was a soul tie that was connected. Because let me tell you something. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't make you feel like you have to do so much. If you're always giving 100% and they're giving 20%, that's not love. Love is an action word. And so it shows great interest and pleasure of something. If you really love me, you will be interested in my feelings. You will be interested in how I feel. You will be interested on my vulnerable moments. You won't judge me by my weaknesses. You won't talk about me because of my scars of what I've been through. And so the world has it all twisted that love is sex, love is Fendi, love is because I got a baby by him or I got a baby by her that they love me. No, baby, that's just another one night stand. And so let me break down the principles of love. Love, the word L stands for loyalty. Something that the world is missing today. If a person really loves you, they will show great interest in their loyalty for you. That means if somebody has something to say about you behind your back, that's love. They're going to take up for you and say they're not here to defend themselves. And so I'm standing in the gap for them, and you're not going to do that around me. You're not going to do that to my partner. You're not going to do that to my wife. You're not going to do that to my husband. You're not going to do that to my girlfriend. You're not going to do that to my boyfriend, because our loyalty in relationships, now even with friendships, your loyalty is that, look, I may have the Roman noodles and you have the sauce, so let's work together. You're not going to, loyalty does not use people. And so when you say that you love somebody or you're loyal to someone, it shows. Like you don't always have to, do so much and get so little in return. So if that person is not showing you loyalty, remember that love is a great interest and pleasure in something. And so if their loyalty does not match their words, then baby, they're not for you. I've been in situations where I felt like that I had to do so much for people to love me. And I always gave so much and I always did a little bit over the top. But because I have love in me, my loyalty, it lies more than what my word says, because my word is bond. And so guess what? If my word is bond, that means loyalty is connected to my word. And so if I say I love you, then that means I will be loyal to you. And so some of us are around people that are not loyal to us, and we're trying to make unloyal people loyal. And so guess what? We have to do a self-evaluation. And what did I really get myself into? Because let me tell you something about love. Love is loyalty. And if a person cannot be loyal to you in a relationship, in a friendship, in a sister, in a brothership, then guess what? They really not interested in you. And so now you have to close that door, because love is loyalty. O stands for openness. You got to be willing, when you get to know somebody, to be open. We shouldn't find out surprises during our relationships when you could be open and upfront. Not to the max when you're getting to know somebody, but just be open. Say, hey, I've been wounded. Hey, I've been through this. Hey. And so if you don't have openness in your relationships, it will never work. It's because if you're always doing closet things, your greatest reward is being exposed to the light. Because the Bible says what's done in the dark comes to the light. And so if a person cannot be open with you and they're always closed in, then that may not be the person for you, because you two are unequally yoked. Because guess what love does? It's a great interest. And so if a person is not willing to have a vulnerable moment, or when you guys get into it, they run or they get mad as hell at you, or I just give up on the relationship right now. You ain't even give it time. It's because you're so used to running instead of being open. And so open, it lines up with honesty. And so we have to be very careful when we say we love somebody or that somebody is dating us. It's for a prime example. If you're always claiming your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, and they're not lifting you up in the public but love you in the dark, then they're really not open, because there's either a side person or they have great interest in somebody else, and you're just something they do at night. And so we have to be very careful when we begin to open up too early for people that's not ready to open up for you, because he said, how could two walk together except they agree? And so if they cannot be open or be openness with you, that means being, vulnerable or expressing how they really feel, and they always running, packing up and leaving, baby, you may need to say deuces to that relationship, because with the word love, O stands for openness. And so if a person cannot be open with you, they're not for you. V stands for valuing you. Value. This is something all of us have missed the mark on. We have been with friends and people and laid with people that does not value you. If my private parts value you more than my ability to be the great person, then that's just a fling. And so love values. It has value to it. And so if they don't value who you are and they calling you out your name and they're telling you you'll never be there and they try to make you be something that you're not, then the relationship is never going to work because there is value in love. And so if you don't have a value in your relationship or they don't value you as a person, they don't value your opinions, they don't value how you feel, then they're not for you. If it's always about them, remember, you got to meet each other halfway. And so if the relationship is not meeting, it's going to begin to crash because everybody is trying to get their talk out and nobody is really just sitting down and really listening to each other because we don't value relationships anymore. It's like, one thing can expose somebody. Maya Angelou said, if a person shows you who they are the first time, believe them. I did not believe it back then because I was vulnerable and I was going through my own things. But when I learned how to value myself, when I learned how to value what I bring to the table, when I learned how to value the necessities and the qualities and not the quantities of me, that's when I started saying, you know what? The relationships that I thought that they loved me, because they told me they loved me, but they didn't value my love, is because love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't put their hands on you. Love doesn't be verbal abusive or physical abusive or mental abusive. So if a person doesn't value you without laying down with them, then they're not for you, because remember, love is a great interest and pleasure in something. And so if a person cannot value what you bring to the table, they're not for you. E stands for equality, or to be equal. It got to line up on line, precept upon precept. It's got to be equality. It can't always be one person doing all the work and you just sitting back. Because a narcissist will play victim when they really the devil. Being in a relationship with somebody is equality, or being equal to. That means if I'm bringing the groceries to the table, you bring the bags. Or if I'm bringing the vision, you bring the mission. Or if I'm bringing value, you bring something that's valuable to the table. And so in a relationship and with love, because remember, love is a great interest and pleasure in something. If it's not equal, it'll never work. In families, friendships, people you go to church with, people you interact with, let me tell you something. You are the most valuable and equal gift God has ever made you. Once you learn who you are, and once you learn what love is what love does. And I want to share a bit of my testimony. When you've been molested, it makes you have all kind of emotions that goes on in your mind, your body, and your soul. And so with a broken person that I was, or where I've been, a lot of people won't be able to quote unquote handle me, is because when a person that's been touched, or if a person that has been through so much is for example, to rejection, low self-esteem, depression. If a person has been through so much, and when a person comes to them and they tell them that they love them, or they show some interest in you, you're going to be so open and vulnerable because you think that you guys are on the same page. But dealing with a broken person, you got to love them a certain way. The first step is to loving yourself first. What is love? Self-love. That means I value you. Before I can allow somebody else to value me, I got to value me. I got to love me. I got to be open with me. I got to be equal to me. I got to value me. I got to be loyal to me. And so a lot of people be like, Brandon, you've been single for 6 years, going on 7 years. I've been single almost 7 years, and I'm all right with that, because guess what? looks wear out. And so we go for people because how they look. And I heard this saying that said the grass is not always green on the other side. And that is true. And so a lot of us, we lower our standards to be loved, or we think love is having a public image, but behind closed, we're dealing with something. But baby, that ain't love. The best love you can ever give yourself is to value and love you. And so what is love? An intense feeling of deep affection. That means you got to love the ugly parts of you. If they only can love the good part of the goods and the good part of you, and they can't love the ugly part of you, that's not love. If they cannot value your loyalty and your feelings and your openness and your value and your equality, that's not love. If you always got to go in your bag, and you can never let nobody, and nobody can never fit the bill for you, that's not love. Love is what love does. Love doesn't hurt. Love doesn't cause pain. Love doesn't make you feel worthless. Love doesn't make you feel like that you was a nobody. Love doesn't make you feel like you was a one-night stand. Love it builds. Love it express. Love it brings together. Love is unity. That's what love is. But once you start valuing who you are, love is a great interest and pleasure of something. That something is you. When God hung, bled, and died for you, that was love. See, when I started to develop a relationship with God, and not a form of godliness, but when I develop a true relationship with God, I understand what love is. I can go to God about all my secrets, all of the things that I've been through, all the things that I'm going through, and I don't have to hear about it because I done been in relationships where they try to use what I've been through against me when they get mad at me. And I'm telling you something, we got to be very, very careful when we start hooking up with different people, hooking up with different spirits, because everybody don't want love. Some people just want a nut. Some people just want a one-night stand. Some people just want a good feel good. Some people just want something to do. It's because guess what? They don't know what love is. You cannot force love or force somebody to love you if they never been loved. So my message is tonight, in my closing, what is love? It's loyalty. It's openness. It's valuing you, and it's being equal or equality. If those principles are not in the love vocabulary, the definition of what love is, then what you got is something just to be doing something. What you got is another soul tie. What is you got is another nut. What is you got is another time. And then you go and instead of embracing that weak moment that you have, because we all have weak moments where everybody wants to be loved. But if you don't love you, you can't expect nobody to love you. Everybody wants to be in love. God didn't create us to be by ourselves for the rest of our life. But the greatest love of it all is loving you. And most importantly, if he's not here, it's never going to work. Because how could I display love and I've never been taught how to love? Pain taught me how to love people unconditionally. Because it was a time where I hated people. I'm just going to be honest. Because of the things that I've been through, rejection, depression, low self-esteem, I didn't know how to love people because I thought love was material things. I thought love is giving my body up to people, meeting people at hotel rooms, being vulnerable, having a weak moment. I thought that was love, giving my body up. I thought love was escaping by getting drunk and getting high. And so now I'm in love with my drug. I'm in love with my addiction. I'm in love masking the hurt and the agony of somebody hurting me. But in this season, you got to value the love. Start having great interest in yourself. Start loving you and don't be like everybody else, because if to be honest, there's a lot of people that's faking like they in love and they really broken. I leave you with this question tonight. What is love? Study it. L stands for loyalty. O stands for openness. V stands for valuing you. And E stands for equality or to be equal. As I sign off tonight, join me for episode 3. Tonight was a great success. I hope that you have taken something from this message and apply it to your own life. I just don't say this because it sounds good. These are things I walk through. What is love? Peace out. Until next time. Talk to him, B. Peace out.